2021. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to Public Laws 1975. Said notice was advertised in Asbury Park Press and the Beacon, was posted on the bulletin board showing the time and place of the meeting. Rise to salute our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So item number 1 tonight is the last quarterly report. Our good colleagues here at RWJ Barnabas and their administration, this will be the 4th of 4 quarterly reports that they graciously provide to update our community. Everyone here they can see on the television. Dr. Arnbinder,
and I apologize for not putting it on the agenda, no matter how many times it was on my notes calendar and Terry emailed me, I still forgot somehow, so I'm sorry.
You didn't know.
I guess so.
Not regard.
Well, maybe they have some services for those with some issues with their memory.
I gotta resemble that.
I'll introduce now Dr. Lynn Einbinder. What I can tell you is she's a cardiovascular disease doctor, assistant clinical professor at Robert Wood Johnson University Medical School. And there are 16 letters after her name. So I saw one of her presentations in Barnegat not too long ago, and so for a few minutes, please give us your update on community health, COVID, and the importance of managing chronic disease, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I very much appreciate the opportunity, and as brevity is the soul of wit, I promise to be brief but hopefully informative. I'm a cardiovascular disease specialist at Community. I'm sure some of you have seen that just this week we're committing $600 million for a 1-decade-long development and essentially transformation of Community Medical Center to provide outstanding care to the residents of Ocean County. I don't know that everyone knows, as part of Community, we've also committed to developing a group of physicians. We're bringing in physicians with expertise in heart and vascular disease. Unfortunately, looking at the population in Ocean County, a number of the risk factors that do lead to heart and vascular disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, a history of smoking, high cholesterol, can really increase the risk of development of these problems. When we look at heart and vascular disease, the blood vessels in the body, you can have disease throughout. And if you have disease in the heart, you can have problems with heart attacks or heart failure. Blockages in the neck arteries, you can have problems with stroke or mini stroke. Blockages in the leg arteries, you can have issues with gangrene, loss of limb, amputation. So identifying these at an early stage and providing outstanding care is so important. To just touch base on a few of the services and opportunities that we have, as a cardiologist, I love prevention. So we're really reaching out to the community. My partner, myself, and the other cardiology and vascular specialists are doing community presentations, health fairs, blood pressure screenings, screenings to look at flow for the legs. So we're really looking and interested in partnering with the community to identify disease and help treat it before we have these serious complications. In addition, unfortunately for people who are developing symptoms, we have in cardiovascular disease excellent ways such as ultrasound to non-invasively image and provide information while out with not putting patients at risk of radiation or dye or other potential toxicities. I actually practice just down the street at 731, and we have an ultrasound component where we can image all of the different blood vessels of the body and help identify patients who may be at higher risk. Unfortunately, for patients who may need more detailed care, one of the things the community is doing is advancing our cardiac and vascular intervention. Now, for many years, we would require procedures, open heart surgery, leg bypass, and that's changing rapidly. We're able to find now that we can do stents, not just for the heart arteries, but stents for the legs, stents for the carotids. And I can tell you from my patients, it's a much quicker hospitalization. Many times patients go home within 24 hours. It's also much safer, a lower risk of anesthesia, and provides excellent care. One thing I wanted to touch on that I'm not sure if the community does know is there's a condition called aortic aneurysm. Very potentially serious when the blood vessel in the abdomen expands to the point. When it gets to a certain point, it can rupture. And when it ruptures, it is invariably fatal. Now, we can identify this with ultrasound in a non-invasive way. We can follow and screen it and help manage risk factors like hypertension. But if patients do get to the point where it needs to be treated, instead of doing an open surgical procedure, we're able to go in and stent it through the legs. And this is an amazing opportunity. It is a 24-hour stay. It's performed in our catheterization lab. I have had several patients that have had it done over the past few months and have been very happy with the care. Another thing I would say is, as community, we're also committed to, as patients come through and after they've had their procedures and their treatment, we want to keep them healthy for the future. We have a cardiac rehabilitation program that helps assist patients who have had heart and vascular disease in terms of developing exercise programs and try to improve healthy habits. So I really do want to emphasize that from detection, screening, evaluation, treatment, and then secondary prevention, community is doing everything that we can to provide good care for the citizens of Ocean County. I do want to say that the best question that you can ask a doctor is, if it were you, where would you send your family member? And I can proudly say that 2 of my very close family members have had cardiac procedures at community, and as a physician and as a family member, I've been so happy with the care. I also would just want to give a shout out to our nurses, because we all want cutting edge care, but we want compassionate care. And the nurses have been angels over this pandemic. And I can say the nurses in our cath lab, cardiac ICU, all of the teams provide just the heart and soul of medicine to our patients. So as a resident here in Ocean County, as a mother of 3 teenagers, and this is exciting because my kids never pay attention to me, but it's a wonderful place to have a family, and I'm so excited to be part of the community, part of the development, and to really provide excellent cardiovascular care and make our hospital a beacon for care for patients. So thank you so much for the opportunity to provide a report and be part of the presentation this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Newbell and Dr. Einbinder, we have on behalf of the committee like to award you a certificate of appreciation for your service to our community this year and coming up to and speaking with our residents.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Take care.
I have nothing else to add. I didn't forget anything else.
You sure?
I'm almost positive. Okay. Oh, that's-
I said, no, the other.
don't-
Well, I spoke about something too. At the place with the.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the place with the guy.
All right, guys, so I'm just losing my mind. Must be my booster shot.
Yeah. I knew it.
Motion to adjourn.
Move it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Township of Lacey Township meetings, stated. Medical notice this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to public laws of 1975. Said notice is advertised in the Asbury Park Press and the Beacon, and posted on the bulletin board showing the time and place of the meeting. Let us salute to our flag in a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 1, first reading of ordinance 2021-29, amending chapter 261, parks to set fees for summer rec program.
In order to the Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, amending and supplementing chapter 261 of the Township Code of the Township of Lacey entitled Parks. This was a plan that Jim Weiland had put together back in 2019 with regards to the summer recreation program and the slight increases that we have to bring up based on the minimum wage increases in order to keep pace with our program. Initially, his initial plan for 2019 said that he wanted to see the fees in 2022 for the camps to be at $200. We discussed it, we talked about it, he's only gonna go to $175. So, he's gonna do $175 for the season, which includes the registration and, the events for the parks, the 4 T-shirts, and the end of season party. And of course, those special trips on Fridays are still an additional fee for those kids that are participating. This is usually about an 8-week program for our youth between the ages of 5 and 13. So he felt, based on the economy and things still going on in COVID, that 200 was just a little bit too steep to go at this time. So this is the amendment to put those fees in place.
That's a remarkable value for the arts.
No clue.
Remarkable values. I believe it's the lowest market fact check in the business.
You're killing me.
Killing me to ask you for fact check?
No, you're killing me that you give me that low.
It's gonna be that low. Well, it's good for Lacey, so.
And you gotta remember, early you sign up, there's a discount for early sign up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was also a plan to raise the beach badge fees as well, but we're not raising the fees. We're gonna keep those at $5. We have seen quite an increase in the amount of beach badges that we're selling since, we've gotten with it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We're $5,000 to $7,000 over our usual, between the last 2 years, so we're doing very good with that.
That's the best deal in the world, right? Flat out.
We're still doing, in my recollection, free for veterans?
Yeah, for the beach badges,
For the
yeah.
beach badge?
Yeah, they just have to show ID. Now, we just need a motion on this ordinance.
Move it.
Second.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
And Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 2, second reading of ordinance 2021-27, setting salaries for summer seasonal staff.
In ordinance of the Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, amending an ordinance entitled an ordinance of the Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, affixing and determining the salaries, wages, and compensation of the officers, employees, and members of the governing body of the township. This is setting the salaries in accordance with minimum wage requirements for the year 22, 23, and 24 for our beach patrol, our recreation staff, the supervisors and assistant supervisors of those departments, and the summer DPW laborers.
Move it.
This is second reading, we need to open the floor. Any comments from the floor?
So you not make a motion to close it?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano?
Abstain. Because I can't vote on that, right, V?
You're
Second
okay, it's a
reading.
summer rec program, you're all right.
Okay, yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
And Mayor Kurtolo?
Abstain. Item number 3, second reading of ordinance 2021-28, setting salaries for special law enforcement officers.
In ordinance of the Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, amending an ordinance entitled an ordinance of the Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, fixing and determining the salaries, wages, and compensation of the officers, employees, and members of the governing body of the township. This is for Class 1 officers, and again, it's in accordance with minimum wage. It brings us out to 2024. Class 2 special officers need to be adjusted, and Class 3 are not being adjusted, but I include them all in the ordinance. This is the same salary for Class 3. Second reading, open the floor. Any
Open the floor.
comments?
See, you not make a motion.
Oh, wait,
We have a comment.
Oh, okay. Tom, you got it.
Name and address.
Just a question on the officers that are assigned to the school system. Was there a separate contract?
There's a shared service with the schools. They reimburse us for it, but we pay them.
Okay, so in other words, their salary will go up. It doesn't have to be a separate contract for them
No,
with
they're-
the school.
Again, I just put it on this ordinance, so it all stays in the same
Okay.
ordinance.
Yeah, I was just wondering if they were different.
This is the same one where you start at $25 an hour, and by the time you're at your 6th year of service, you're up to $30 an hour.
Okay.
And the school, we pay the officers, but the school reimburses us for that fee.
So they honor our contracts. That's all I really was after. The school officers,
Yeah, that was something we just, and we also had discussed that with the schools, and in order to attract these Class 3 officers,
Right.
you had to offer quite a hefty pay, because nobody wants to do it.
right.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion on the ordinance?
Do we have a motion to close the floor?
Move it.
Second.
Okay, motion on the ordinance.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 4, resolution 2021-298, supporting the acquisition of properties by the Ocean County Natural Land Trust.
A resolution Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, supporting the acquisition of properties identified on addendum A by the Ocean County Natural Lands Trust Fund. This is a 5.42 acre lot, which is owned by Laurel Bay LLC. It's block 791.07, lot 10.01. This is if you go all the way down the end of Cedar Drive past Jersey City Court and go off into the marshlands. It is a portion of that in that area. The county owns the majority of it now. This is just the last outstanding 5.2 acres. There are taxes owed on it. However, that will be taken care of at closing.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Oh, Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 5, resolution 2021-300, authorizing a replacement tax title lien certificate.
Resolution of Township of Lacey County, Ocean State of New Jersey, authorizing replacement of tax title lien certificate number 2020-146. This is authorizing the replacement of the lien certificate for a duplicate, and it will cost the Atlas Property Tax Group $100 for the replacement.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 6, resolution 2021-301, providing for a special item of revenue in the 2021 budget.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, providing for the insertion of a special item of revenue and appropriation in the 2021 municipal budget known as the Chapter 159 in the Township of Lacey pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-87. This is the American Recovery Act funds. We are taking a portion of what was allotted to us, $170,000, in order to offset the premium pay that was given to the employees.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 7, resolution 2021-302, canceling certain tax debt, debit and credit balances.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State of New Jersey, canceling certain tax, debit, and credit balances under $10. There's probably like 3 pages here, but it only calculates out to like $96.77.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Resolution 2021-303, authorizing the refund of deposit bonds.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State of New Jersey, authorizing a refund of deposits held for the use of municipal facilities.
Move. Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 9, resolution 2021-304, authorizing the payment of township bills.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State of New Jersey, authorizing the payment of township bills in the amount of $7,609,857.86.
Move it. Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes, and I'll abstain on vendor D0400.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 10, monthly reports.
For the month of October, the municipal court collected receipts in the amount of $12,766.23. As you can see, we have an uptick in court fines, so that means there's more activity at the courts going on now with some of this stuff being pushed forward, so that's a good sign. We were down to almost $5,000 a month previously. For the month of November, the municipal clerk's office collected receipts in the amount of $1,922.11. Community development for the month of October collected receipts in the amount of $91,533.85. Treasurer's report for the month of November from the recycling department. Road opening permits in the amount of $4,050, recycling commodity in the amount of $576, tire deposits in the amount of $132, and truck parking in the amount of $800. Motion to accept the reports is read.
Move. Second.
So moved.
All in
favor?
Aye.
Item 11, motion to approve township meeting minutes of November 10th, 2021.
Move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Giuliano has to
Abstain.
abstain, yes.
Abstain.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Item number 12, motion to approve township meeting minutes of November 23rd, 2021.
Move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Abstain.
Deputy Mayor?
Abstain.
I abstain.
He did, okay.
Item 13, motion to approve caucus meeting minutes of November 10th, 2021.
Move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstains.
Abstain.
Thank you.
Item 14, motion to approve caucus meeting minutes of November 23rd, 2021.
Move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Item 15, motion to approve membership in the local harbor fire company for David Gindlis.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item 16, motion to approve membership in the Forked River Fire Company for Kevin Weir.
Move it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item number 17, motion to approve raffle license application for the Lacey Elks Lodge number 2518.
Move it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item
Aye.
18, motion to approve bingo license application for the Lacey Elks Lodge 2518.
Move it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Comments from the committee. Committeeman McDonald. I should go to, I apologize, Committeeman. I should go to Deputy Mayor first. Deputy Mayor Giuliano.
It's okay. Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I want to thank the Township Committee, and I think they all know, and can they hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. how you reached out to my family. I want to thank you very much. You guys are the best. I know that, and everything you do is for the good of everybody. So I want to thank you very much for making my family through, me being out of there and not being able to come to some of these township meetings. It's been kind of tough, but everything's going to work out. And Veronica, I want to thank you very much for coming over to spend some time with me to go over some things. That means a lot to me because of your expertise on everything. And like I told you, it's all you. So I appreciate everything you've done for me. And like I said, the rest of the Township Committee. I just want to thank, like I always do, all the fire department. While they had the breakfast with Santa, they surprised us and brought breakfast over to my family. Like I said in the past, the organizations we have in this town, my God, they are the best. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I want to thank all of them, the police department, the volunteers, the fire departments, the EMSs, all the employees of Lacey Township. Like I said in the past, everybody in this township that whether works for us or anything makes us shine and makes Lacey Township be what it is today. So I want to thank you. I'm not going to be able to make it to December 21st. I believe that's the meeting, right, V?
That's correct, sir.
I'm not going to be able to make it to that one, but I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Please make sure you hug your family. That's everything in the world. I want to thank you very much for letting me be a part of this meeting tonight, which is the greatest thing in the world. It makes me feel real good. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. We love you, man. Committeeman McDonald.
Thank you, Mayor. Nick, it's good to hear your voice. Wish you were here in
Thank
person. But we're all praying for you, man.
Thank you, bud.
So, let me move on. The parade, the first time we had a parade, a real parade, because last time it was a rainy one, so we go back 3 years. So we didn't have to see Mr. Dykoff's hat.
I got a new hat.
But anyhow, it was good, and it was lined up pretty good. Probably one of the best ones we've had. The weather was good, and the band, Lacey Marching Band, sounded really very good. It's a holiday season. Check. I think the list goes up for Lacey and Lights. I want to say Friday afternoon. So you can go around and see the different houses that have signed up to be judged for their Christmas lights and vote and go in that direction. That is, we're up to, I last talked to Jim earlier in the week. I think it was about 67. He thinks we'll probably top out around 75 houses. So that's the best we've had in 4 or 5 years we've been doing this. So with that, Mayor, that's all I have, and we'll see everybody on the 21st.
Thanks so much. Committeeman Dykoff.
I only have one thing to say. Nick, it's short. Nice to hear your voice, as Tim said.
Thank you,
Godspeed.
Mark.
Get well soon, and we look forward to seeing you when you get better and get you back here.
Yeah, thank you.
Good luck to you, and God bless you and your family. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Committeeman Kennis.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, Nick, it's actually working out pretty good. You can hear you well on Zoom when you do. It's good to hear your voice.
Thank you, Steve.
I did also want to mention the parade. As Tim said, the weather was great. It's the first time we've had one in a long time, and I, in particular, want to thank the Elks for organizing that parade. And like Nick always mentions, the service organizations we have in this town are really important to us. They help fill the gaps in some of the services and volunteering that we can't provide as a township. So I want to thank the Elks and all the organizations that help out around town. That's all I have in there.
Thanks so much. And I too want to just welcome Nick. It's just good to hear his voice. He's beloved in this town. He's our deputy mayor, and he's good people. Everyone knows his family and loves him. I'd like to have some short comments. Shop Small, Win Big, Holiday Shopping Pass. It's info@sochamber.com, the Southern Ocean County Chamber. It's a chance to win $500, and you shop, eat, and buy local, and you support our mom and pop stores. I want to thank our administrator publicly for what she did with no fanfare last night. We were running a little bit short on some help, so a liaison, thankfully our colleagues here let me do that for several years now. It's the 8th year. And we needed a person to record. So Veronica jumped in because it's an official meeting. There are minutes. She came, stayed here with me and our board until about 8:30. And she jumped right in and she did that. She didn't have to do it. I thought it might fall on me. I would have accepted it. But a little bit of what we call a kidda in me. So you jumped in, I'm very grateful. I want to give a special thank you. Last night I had a meeting with Committeeman Committeeman McDonald, but before that, at the Elks Club, the Disabled American Veterans Chapter, I mean, there were a lot of men and women there. I had no idea what I was going there for, other than to support them as the civilian liaison to the Lacey Township Veterans Commission and tell them things about what we do with the health department, services available to them at no charge, counseling, whatever, everything. And it's available to most everyone in this county. But I wanted to make a special outreach to them. I was a little choked up, as I'm getting choked up now. They gave me an honor quilt, hand sewn. I couldn't believe it. I did not expect it. I'm very, very grateful to them. If you see a veteran, say thank you. I say whenever I talk about the veterans, I always say I'm a civilian. Those men and women fought. I was in a classroom pushing a pencil. They are really what make us great here in Lacey, and so many others. I'm grateful. My dogs will never get near that quilt. It's going to stay up 6 feet on our fireplace mantle, and no one's ever going to touch it. So thank you, Disabled American Veterans. Close this comments. This is something that's important to us because we are a mom county here. That's Monmouth, Ocean, Middlesex. So Commissioner Vicari called me. He wrote a letter to the Commissioner of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority, and he CC'd our 9th District. Unfortunately, the state is seeing fit again to raise rates on the Turnpike and Parkway. It unfairly impacts us here in Lacey and every other town in Ocean County because there's a great majority of us that are commuting up there, and it is a tax. I don't want anyone to tell you, listen, it's a tax. When you pay your registration fee, it goes by the weight of your vehicle. Originally, that was supposed to be the impact that your particular vehicle, that's why SUVs pay more than passenger cars, that your vehicle would impact on the roads. Begs the question, so then why are you paying the exorbitant fees to ride that parkway? It was built in the 50s and should long have since been free. Now these rates are going up again. I want to thank the Board of Commissioners. Next time we meet here on the 21st, I'd like to ask my colleagues and our administrator to let us do a symbolic resolution to support our people here, because we're the ones that are going to get banged with this, and it's not fair and it's not right. And then when we need help here on Route 9 or another state road, it's wait until 3 blue moons pass, so it's not fair. So I may also write a letter. I don't think that'll do much good, but I want to support Commissioner Vicari, Commissioner Director Quinn, and the rest of that board in advocating for us. That's all I have. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and we'll open the floor to public comment. Please. Name and address, sir.
Yeah, Mike Sedlak, 325 Lawrence Drive, in Menlo Harbor.
Okay.
I'd like to thank the mayor and the committee for addressing the noise ordinance issue that we've been having. I know this wheels of government takes slow, but hopefully it gets addressed soon because they're constantly harassing us. And if you have any advice, different ways that we can handle it.
I talked to you for a couple of minutes right before.
You did, yes, and thank you.
So in
Thank
full
you.
transparency,
Yeah.
we are continuing to meet with our chief, and we're trying to address it. Anytime there's because it's you today and it's me tomorrow, and it's one of our committeemen, our administrator, or our deputy mayor the next day.
Yeah.
So if there's going to be a quality of life issue and it's not fair, and this sounds like it's not fair,
Right.
I'm not going to impugn the process. let him investigate it. We all know our chief, he's there to advocate for us. We go methodically, dot the i's, cross the t's, but we will have an answer. I hope you're happy with it.
Well,
But we're
one thing
going
I'm
to have an
concerned with
answer.
is, you speak with the chief, DeBella, and, he says, oh, we don't rate that many violations for this, if any, because I've researched a little bit of it, and you really didn't. It's a hard violation to rate. So I don't want the whole plan to get scrapped just because of his
No,
advice
that's
of
not
mine.
gonna happen at all. We are looking at the other angle, getting our ordinance possibly certified,
Sure.
meeting with the chief and to see what.
I know that the DEP's model is pretty intense,
Yeah.
on a budget for a township.
We're gonna try to come up with a happy medium
Yeah.
that would address all of our concerns.
Good. Thank you, thanks for all you
Yeah,
did.
it's not gonna get scrapped.
Thank you for coming out.
Have a good
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Name and address, sir.
Joe Bransford, 113 Amber Mist Way. You've thanked us and wished us well, and I represent Seabreeze at Lacey, and we want to wish you all, committee people, council, administrator, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. You do great service to the town, and we're very appreciative of it. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, Joe. Merry
Bless you.
Christmas.
Thank you. Very happy.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Name and address.
Tony Rizzoli, Sunrise Beach. First, I didn't see the agenda on the website.
Because the person that posted for me is on vacation this weekend.
That's a good reason.
You know, and I don't know how to do that. How
Else,
about that?
you know, I can't read it, so I said, well, I guess I got to show because
Yeah.
I read it, then I say I don't have to go.
I want
over
to
that.
dovetail that, because I was on the website right before I texted you at 4:30. I couldn't, because I know we're at another meeting. So where's the
On
schedule?
your calendars.
Yeah, the
You
calendar.
Look at your calendars.
I looked at their calendars, I couldn't find it.
I don't know.
All right, go ahead. Never mind.
your technology skills.
Just not to interrupt and not to belabor this, but it's interesting. People very often say, why can't we do this, social media, why can't we do that? And, listen, our employees work very hard. Many municipalities have what's called a public information officer. And we can do that, $70,000. I mean, so it's like, where does it end?
No, I
Where does
understand.
it end? But no, listen, we try and do it all in-house, but that's the interesting part. But okay. you can
I
go
don't
back
have
to
a
what you said.
problem with it. Like I
I know.
said, if I can't read it in advance, you got to put up with me.
Just call Mr. McDonald.
Okay, I have a couple of things though.
Tony, let me have your email address, we'll make sure you get the email.
Well, I do get the emails.
But none of
Okay.
that got sent out because the individual that handles it for us happens to be on vacation this
I'm
week.
on the list, so,
Yeah.
you know, I'm trying not to see you guys, okay, and lady, okay. There is a program in another town that I have dealings with that got $2,400 for a drive sober program that the state issued for the holidays. I want to know if Lacey got the money.
We did that.
We got
And
it?
I do believe I did a chapter 159 a couple of weeks ago related to that. It's called the click it or
We
ticket.
do a click it or ticket, drive
John-
sober, get pulled over.
Okay,
You text, you drive, you lose. He does, our chief does all three. He applies for that every year in the Division of Highway Traffic.
well, they advertised that they got it, we didn't, I wanted to know. And the reason I wanted to know is is it possible to do a report post-holiday? How many tickets were issued for alcohol and how many tickets were issued for substance abuse?
I'm sorry.
That's obvious.
Ask the question, I'm sorry, say it again?
How many tickets under that program that we got the money for from the state were issued during this holiday season, that's what it was, are issued for alcohol, driving while impaired, and how many tickets were issued for substance abuse, driving while impaired?
So here's the interesting part. I happened to hear a report on the radio pertaining to this on 101.5, and they were talking about this. And why the number 400 and change for the amount of substance abuse and or alcohol. I think they lump it DWI. And then also, they talked about how many summonses for other related speeding, things like that. And actually, they issue way more tickets for no seatbelts, speeding, cell phone, than they do for DUI, DWI, and it was between 400 and 500 were the amount of tickets that are issued during the holiday season under this program.
Okay, the reason I'm bringing it up is marijuana is legal, okay? You have to be certified through law enforcement to recognize that. You can't give them a breathalyzer test, you know, unless they approve and allow you. You can't take a blood test. Blood test is usually the only way you could have under a CDS program to find out without special kinds of training. So I'm wondering if we, going down the road, you know, if we start a baseline, okay, how many tickets are being issued this year as the first year, okay, that marijuana is in fact legal and people are on our roads. How does it affect the number of accidents? And does it continue to grow for substance abuse as opposed, you know, for marijuana?
That information gets called, traditionally it's been, more DUIs are written for substances other than alcohol. Years ago it used to be alcohol, but I'll tell you, the numbers of DUIs over the past several years have dropped a bit because of movement and lift. And people are just getting smarter now and using those services. You know, I think as marijuana proliferates, and invariably you heard the chief, I'm not going to speak for him, we'll see more issues with that. But he will, and the state does, cull all those statistics. So
Okay.
that's going to be available.
Well, I'm just saying, can we gather our own, how it affects our
Well,
community?
you have to, in order to keep receiving the grant money, there is a report that you have to send in.
Okay.
And it also establishes by the work that you've done this year as to how much you get next year. It's like always a year behind. So there is a report, I'm sure, at the State Attorney General's office that you can probably look up with the law of public safety and look it up yourself and get the statistics, excuse me. I'm not sure if they break it down by municipality.
Okay, I'm just more
Yeah,
concerned
he
about
has to do the report, he
at
has to
home.
do the grant report anyway.
You know,
so
what
that's
happens in
not-
Newark, I really don't care.
Yeah.
You know,
But
what
there's
happens
grant
here, I
report or else
care.
You wouldn't get the money, you know,
Yeah.
so.
Okay, just a question that I had is, because like we're starting out. Next, there was another town that I have dealings in that we have a program here, I believe, under solicitation that you can put your name on a list for no solicitation. No?
No, we don't.
Okay. Can we put our name on a list and go with no solicitation? This particular town had an ordinance that they just put in that allows a list for no solicitation, and they give out decals to the residents who don't want to be solicited.
Yeah, there are, yes, there's at least one that I know of. There's decals that certain residents or most residents would put on their doors, and it would be no knock. That would be something I'd have to discuss with the next
Well,
mayor.
that's-
We'll discuss.
that's what I was
We've
told.
discussed this several times over the years with various different committee faces up here, and we haven't had support to adopt it, so,
Yeah.
I mean, it's something else
Yeah.
we could look at.
Well,
I think
I-
I probably have an old ordinance laying around somewhere.
Yeah, my better half inquired with the police department, and they said they were going to bring it to Chief DeBella, and also that we should bring it forward to the committee to take another look at it.
I can dig out the ones that I have, you know.
There
in
are
files.
people that are becoming much more aggressive in coming to people's doors, to coming to people's houses, for a plethora of different reasons. And maybe just with a decal to dissuade them might solve us some issues in the future that we really don't want to address with people coming onto people's properties without being asked to come forward. So just to consider that, something to think about in the future, and that's all I have.
Take it under advisement,
Have a,
absolutely.
have a good holiday to everyone, and Nick, get better, want to see you back.
Thank you, Bob.
Please, name and address.
Regina DeSenza, Sunset Drive, Sunrise Beach. Nick, I was never so happy to see someone's face in a computer tonight as I was happy to see you. When I walked in, I was like, yay!
We can see him?
Thank you.
Wait,
Perfectly.
Oh.
Oh, perfectly. Can see him perfectly from the back of the room and everything. As Mr. McDonald said, the parade was very well attended. I think there was a couple of thousand people out. The weather, you know, the COVID coop up, you know, people just couldn't wait to get out. I do have a concern tonight. As I've been driving down Route 9, there is a construction site at the old miniature golf course on Route 9. And everyone can see there's a lot of concrete piled up there that's been demolished. Concrete can sometimes contain asbestos. That whole entire property, I believe, is the wellhead protection area for 3, 4, and 5. Has the construction official been out there to see what they're doing with
the
the?
construction officials out there, there is no asbestos in there. What
Okay.
they're going to do is being recycled. What you can do is crush down such things as,
Right.
concrete like that, and they can recycle it back into the site, and that's what they're gonna do. All of that stuff had to be turned in to the construction code official for approvals if they were going to do that.
Okay, that was my only concern, because I'm aware that that property is a wellhead protection area, and if we contaminate 3, 4, and 5, they're gonna have to get shut off. And I was at the LMUA meeting last week, but I didn't see the, you know, the way the construction site was going, you know, if they were carting that concrete away, or if they were burying it and, like you said,
They're
crushing it
crushing
out.
it down to where it gets to be almost like
Just
a
to
fine
pebbles,
sand and
yeah,
pebbles and
mhm.
stuff like that to try to reuse it back
And
into the site.
that would be fine, because, you know, we're very low sea level here, it doesn't hurt to put more stuff back into the soil, as long as it's acceptable. And that brings me to the LMUA. Their start time is 6:30, same as here, but certain people set their watches a little early, and numerous times I've gone in, and the meeting is started at 6:25. Sometimes I'm somewhere else. Wait. I mentioned 3 times that they're supposed to start on time. Well, the 3rd time I almost got my head snapped off, so that's why I mention it to you. Public meetings are supposed to start when advertised, not when someone's watch is set 5 minutes early. Look, I know the guys like to, you know, go out after the meeting, but whether it's 25 minutes between 6:30 and 5 to 7, or 6:25 and 10 to 7, I have walked in so many times and I missed the first 5 minutes of the meeting. That's not fair. And they, most of the time, they know I'm coming. But so, so, you know, I don't like missing the first 5 minutes of the meeting. Sometimes they're already up to the engineer's report when I walk in. It's just, it's not fair. You guys don't start 5 minutes early, God knows.
Well, we might now.
You're gonna get Mr. Nova's watch, huh? Well, another thing I wanted to mention with the COVID coop up and all, it's time to check on our elderly neighbors. There are numerous people in this town that live alone. And because of lack of travel, their own children or families might not have been here for a month, a year, 18 months. If you have elderly neighbors, please just take a moment, give them a phone call, go ring their bell, go check on them, make sure they don't need anything, just ask. Because this is the time to be neighborly. A pandemic is still ensuing, and it's a holiday season, and there are people that are really, really alone. I mean, this is
We have a, what's called
taking,
a keep in touch program via the police department.
It is an active-
It's for elderly people that may not have family close by, and it's the requirement is that you, the elderly person, would call into the police department
Right.
just to say, you know, I'm here, I'm still kicking, I'm here.
Right.
If they don't call by a certain time, we reach out to them, we don't get a phone call, we send an officer over, so they could sign up and be on.
yeah, do you know how
list.
many people are enrolled in that?
No, I don't.
Has it been put out to like Pheasant Run and Seabreeze?
Yeah, the chief does a very good job of it, and he does a very, very good job of it.
He's really on it.
All right, 'cause
I
that's
believe
where
he has
the-
an infirm list as well, for
Yes.
those who just cannot
Yeah, I know
get
about
around.
that, yeah, people that can't get out at all.
He's been above
Yeah,
board
we've
with his
had that in
efforts.
place, since the middle eighties, the Keep in Touch program, and it's been really,
Very good,
great
yeah.
program.
Okay, well, another thing is, I think it was Pete, you mentioned about veterans, and I happen to know for a fact that the Menlo Parks Veterans Home is suffering from loneliness at 132 Evergreen Road in Edison, New Jersey, 08837. If anyone wants to send them Christmas cards or gifts, anything, call 732-452-4100. The activities director is Christine. But the people in that veterans home have suffered tremendous loss, their friends, their fellow residents. There's almost no new people going in there. It's a very sad situation. And the next meeting you said is
The
December
21st at,
same time or?
6:30, yes.
Okay.
I mean, we could add it on Thursday, but it's a little close to
It's a
Christmas.
little close, right,
Not
that's
that
why I
I-
heard you say the 21st, but I'm wondering if you were still having it
Tuesday
at
the
6.
21st, yes. Right now, I do need to finalize a few things, so we do need to have it.
All right, so if anybody wants to pay attention to the Menlo Park Veterans Home, it would be greatly appreciated. I personally sent a couple of things up there myself to a couple of people I still have contact with. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gina, before you leave, can you hear me?
Yes, Nick.
Okay. I'm gonna stop in there and I'm gonna take care of that clock and I'm gonna move it the other direction. How's that?
Oh, funny. Well, the clock is on time. It's Mr. Nola's watch.
Oh, maybe I would take his watch off then.
And I have my cell phone, and I look at the cell phone, and I'm like, it's definitely
Yeah,
not
I got
security.
it.
Any other comments for the good of the order?
Seeing none, motion to close the floor.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
I'm going to do resolution, 305, it's a resolution of Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing convening executive session to discuss matters of litigation, matters of personnel, pending anticipated, real estate. Motion?
Move it. Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes.
We will not be out to make any further decisions.
Motion to adjourn.
No.
Hey, Bob.